There are some major changes about to drop in Apex Legends. As the time I'm recording this video, there are only about 20 hours until these changes are released. Pathfinder's getting his grapple buffed heavily, in my opinion. Some people think it's a small buff, but his grapple can still be 35 seconds for a big grapple and 10 seconds for a small grapple. We're going to get into that more in depth later, but Wraith hitbox got slightly adjusted. Not the actual character model size, but when Wraith runs around, she used to double up, making her hitbox a lot harder to hit when you were fighting her, which I think is an awesome change. A lot of Wraith mains were complaining about it, and I kind of get it. Like, the Naruto run looked kind of cool, but it was kind of unbalanced. Wraith already has the smallest hitbox in the game, so them changing it to make her run normally like other Legends just makes it a lot more balanced. She's still going to have the smallest hitbox in the game, but now her run isn't going to be quite as OP, so if she's running at you or away from you, she'll be much easier to kill, which should be a good thing for most people, and you can probably understand why they made this change. And if you don't understand why they made this change, I think you should be grateful. The developers did mention that this was the best thing they could come up with. She's still the strongest character in the game. She's still one of the most picked Legends, and she has the highest win rate and like gunfight win rate. So, you know, she is a powerful as hell Legend, and to balance her, they're trying to think of different and unique ways to do it without completely crippling her. So her run animation being changed just to make her slightly easier to hit is something Wraith mains should actually be happy about. I think most of them would rather that than them making Wraith fatter and more of a normal target to hit, you know? That could have been the other option. So if you're upset about the Naruto running, don't be. Because we all know the only Naruto running Wraiths do is when they rage quit the second they get knocked at the start of every game if they have TTV in their name. Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about some of the lesser used Legends before we get into Pathfinder. And that one is Crypto. I know he's being used a lot more this season, seeing as he did get a big buff, especially in competitive. He's super useful. They made his drone be able to open a vault as long as the Crypto has the vault key. At this point, they're basically making it so you never have to leave the drone. Next thing they need to do is add a gun to it so the Crypto can just AFK in a building and do everything. But honestly, I don't think this is a bad change. I also don't know how much of a good change it is, because what's the point of opening the vault if you're not going to be there, unless you're opening it for someone else, which, you know, could be a good thing, but I don't know. That's just another change so Crypto can do more from his drone, I guess. Make it more useful. I don't know. But Loba, increased range of ultimate and passive. You're going to have a bigger radius to get loot from. So if you put the Loba down somewhere, you can get it from an extra building or two, which is pretty cool. But the biggest thing is her passive, which is her bracelet and her ability to kind of transport. It's kind of a weaker character, so this is a really good change in my opinion, and does buff both of them, making Loba a lot more viable. But not only that, but I think a highly underrated change that they made, and the last change they made to her, was making it so she started the match with half her ultimate charged. Which, at the start of the match, let's be honest, that's the most important time to have loot. So if you can charge that now twice as quick, and you're struggling to find loot in a location like every single one of us has before, you're going to be getting that Loba roll a lot quicker now. Which I think is a really good change, seeing as Loba doesn't get that much love anymore, and not that many people run it. Bloodhound. Let's talk about that. It has become super popular. You guys saw me using it a lot in ranked before it got the insane buff. With the ultimate, you could always L1 and like basically have wall hacks while using your ultimate because you got it so often. They've now reduced the tactical cooldown while the ultimate is active. The normal Bloodhound scan you get at the same amount of time, but now when you're in ultimate, it's going to take 8 seconds instead of 6 seconds, which is a 3-second nerf. Now that's still a lot to get the L1, but it does give the enemy team more time to reposition so they don't feel like they're getting scanned every single second. And I honestly think it's a good change. Bloodhound is still going to be strong. Like, I was using him before he had this buff, and it's still better than it was before the buff even happened. But it makes it a tiny bit more fair. Like, you guys would have seen, like, every single ranked team almost has a Bloodhound now. And getting scanned a lot can be quite frustrating. So I think this is a good change. Now, the last legend change before we get into the Pathfinder buff is Rampart. Increase the rate at which the shield's bullet spread tightens, which means that you'll be able to be more accurate with the Rampart gun. You guys know I've used a lot of Rampart. I enjoy her, but she is on the tiny bit of a weaker side, especially with that turret. But hopefully this change makes her ultimate a lot more viable, but we'll have to wait to find out in-game for sure. Because the Rampart gun not being able to move is pretty vulnerable a lot of the time, but this is definitely an improvement that Rampart could use. But now, what you've all been waiting for, Pathfinder. They finally made a change to his grapple. The 35 seconds was way too long, which I'm sure every single person can agree with that plays Apex. Surely everybody's had a bit of fun grappling around with Pathfinder. Whether you're good with grappling or you're bad at grappling, it's a lot of fun and nobody can deny that. And that's what this change was aimed to improve. Now, the way it works is, if you do a tiny grapple, it will recharge in 10 seconds. That's shorter than it ever was. It used to be 15 seconds, but now it can be as low as 10. But if you do a full distance, like long grapple, it can take as long as 35 seconds to recharge, which I know a lot of people will be upset about because they like doing big and amazing grapples. But the fact is, it's way more tactical now. You can use a mini grapple to get in a fight and then a big grapple to get out because you recharged it enough. And then based off how big of a grapple you do is how long it takes you to earn the next grapple, which I think is super cool and adds like a skill gap. So you can be tactical about it and do 3 mini graps in 30 seconds, or you can do 1 massive grapple and have to wait 35. I think this is a really cool change and something a lot of Pathfinder mains will be happy with. I know some of them who just like doing the 1 insane grapple. Doesn't sound like the best change, but I feel like once you get to play around with it a bit, you'll grow to appreciate this change. And I think it's a really balanced one as well. Not making him too insanely overpowered, but at the same time, making him way more versatile. Now, if you weren't paying too much attention, they either accidentally leaked this or put it in as an Easter egg into the dev live stream, but it did show up on your screen as an emote, something that could be potentially coming but wasn't talked about either in Season 6 or in this next update. I don't know. I feel like it's more of an Easter egg for Season 6, but I think it's funny how they prompt you to do it after you get a kill so you can dance on somebody, i.e. a TTV. I really hope they add some funny ones, like maybe even a teabagging emote. I think that would be pretty cool anyway. But yeah, expect to see more of that soon, because that definitely isn't just a funny feature that they accidentally put in the game. That's something they plan on implementing. So there will be emotes coming soon, probably in the Season 6 Battle Pass if I was to take a wild guess. But there's a lot of other things they sneaked into this update which I'm super looking forward to. And one of them is now when you swap Evo armor or you see an Evo armor on the ground, they're going to have a thing to see how much benefit or downgrade of the armor it is. Because if you have a blue armor and it's 1 damage away from purple armor and you swap it to another blue armor in a box, you don't know how much damage that next Evo armor has, and you could be severely downgrading. But now you're going to be able to see that, which I think is super cool. Another thing they added as well, which I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be on console as well, but they didn't actually specify, so it could be, is you're going to be able to see your frames per second, latency, and your packet loss if you choose. You can add this to your screen, which I'm going to definitely be putting on my screen because I'm always interested in how bad my net is. Seeing as I do play in other regions a lot, playing with a lot of American friends, I have to play on bad connection. I don't really like doing it, but like I can still make it kind of work. It does give me a disadvantage, but being able to see how trash my internet is, I think is pretty cool. They're also fixing the streamer mode, so if you want to hide your name in game, it actually works now. Previously, it only hid enemy players' names, not your own, but a lot of big creators have a lot of trouble in games from people griefing them, seeing their name in the kill feed and going out of their way to ruin their games. So now it's going to give them a bit more of a normal experience, which is a good change for creators, but doesn't impact that many people. The new event skins and the caustic heirloom are frigging awesome and something I'm super excited for. But obviously the main thing I'm excited for is crossplay. Now, the way it's going to work is you can go and add people in-game from different platforms. You can see the icon to see which platform they're from, so you don't get confused if they're on Xbox or PlayStation. Just type in their name and you will be able to find them, add them, and join them. PlayStation, PC, and Xbox currently. They will be adding the game to Steam in the near future. Towards the end of the year, I think, is the ETA. but they will also be bringing the game to Switch, which I'm excited for, and that also is coming later in the year. But currently crossplay is just the platforms mentioned. Now, if you're on console and you're scared of versing PC players and you don't want to verse them, the fact of the matter is you will never come into their games unless you invite someone and add someone on PC and bring them into your party. That is the only time you'll be going on PC servers. Crossplay will be turned on for default for everybody, and if you turn it off, chances are you won't be getting a game, but there's no reason to turn it off. You shouldn't be scared of Xbox players, you shouldn't be scared of PS4 players, and PC players definitely shouldn't be scared of console players, even though for some reason they are, which I think is quite funny. But thing is, if you do turn it off, you probably won't find a game because you're only going to find people on your platform that have also turned off the setting, which won't be that many people, but at least the people that were really scared of versing PC players and hackers and stuff like that won't have to unless they choose to. I do hope in the near future they do add an option for console players that do want the extra challenge to turn it on so they can verse PC players, make it completely up to them, because I know a lot of people do want the extra challenge, so hopefully they'll add that in the future, but currently that's how the crossplay beta is going to work. Just thought I'd inform you guys, and anyway, that's the end of this video. I gave you pretty much all the important facts and what's coming. If you want a full detailed description of every single change that's coming in this update tomorrow, then there will be a link in the description below to the patch notes. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, it doesn't hurt to titty smuck the like button. It does help my video out. It does tell YouTube that I'm a better YouTuber than I actually am. So you probably should just do that. Anyway, have a wonderful day, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.
You guys listen to this. Watch this.
Mighty Zeus, god of thunder from down under.
Anybody have a lozenge? I might be bleeding in the throat right now.